Bubbles! Oh, they're amazing. Bubbles are. The Kirin Tor quests have landed in Legion at last. Had to go at a few of these on in Legion. In Legion, of course, in Legion Beta, I meant to say. I'm sorry. The first time they came in, though, they were a little bit finicky. But yeah, I like this one. I did muck it up a couple of times. I panicked there. And I don't know why I panicked, because I've done this before in beta. I should have known better. But I'd completely forgotten it first time. I was milling around here. Because the problem with the Kirin Tor world quest is it doesn't really just start when you get in the general area like most world quests do. But that's because it's quite localised what you're after. So you have to sort of wait there. So yeah, the idea with the bubbles obviously swim up. And then they swap over, so you're not just in one bubble. And what you have to do, of course, with these ones is you have to move your camera angle around because it's three-dimensional. And you could easily, just as you're trying to keep yourself in the centre just from one fixed point of view, be moving out of it from another. Of course, that's what did for me on this one. But it's a nice one. It's a reasonably short one, this one, actually, compared to some of the other Kirin Tor ones. It doesn't take that long once you've sort of got into the swing of things. The racing one, I have to say I was less keen. It's just looking out for the purpley things. And then there were two races. There's one that I got in Suramar, which I'll go on to later. I mean, that's the one I enjoyed the least. This one was sort of all right, at least, because you're just chasing the blue clouds. I don't remember actually doing this on beta, I have to say. This was the first time I'd sort of come across it. So I was... but... I mean, it was straightforward. I mean, with the world quests, of course, we get some world quests where it's like kill a load of things and kill one of these things. Some of them, it's actually, it's kill a rare mob. Some of them, it's bop things or collect things. There's a wide variety of different world quests, which is a good thing, of course. And some of them are relatively straightforward. You go straight in, you've done it in a minute. Some of them takes a bit longer. This is, is quite a short one, I think, where it is here in High Mountain, but it could just depend on location, because in Suramar it took a bit longer for me at any rate, and this was alright. Obviously you get 5% each time. You just have to keep a lookout. Obviously you can't stop your thing. You wouldn't necessarily want to. You want to move quickly anyway. But of course, yeah, they don't. It's not like when you run over one light you immediately see the next. Sometimes you do, a lot of times you don't, and you have to be aware it's not always going to be on a road or a path. You have to sort of be a little bit aware of where these things can go. But I found it quite enjoyable. If you haven't had a go at these yet, I would certainly do it. Quite good rewards from doing the Kirin Tor things. But they can take a little bit longer. Like with most world quests, as I say, by the time you've done a week of them, Legion's been out for a bit over a week now, you've sort of got used to it. Not necessarily all the world quests, but most of the types of world quest, and you can sort of gauge it, and you can think to yourself, well, it's probably going to take roughly this amount of time to do it. Whereas these ones, it's a bit trickier, of course. Until you've done these specific ones, you don't really know, because a feature of the Kirin Tor world quest is they are very, very unique, completely different to other types of world quest, with this sort of emphasis on the sort of wizardy Dalaran type magic stuff. But this was I think my least favourite, just because it was either really frustrating in one zone or just fairly basically obvious what to do in the next without any real interaction or anything like that. There's you've got the bar at the bottom there for the map. It doesn't do anything. Nothing aggroes or anything like that. So there's nothing that really adds much interest other than sort of swinging around a lot and seeing where the next blue light is. Now the third one I came to is actually the most interesting. If anything, it's probably the one that's most up my street, because it's a little bit of a memory one, just remembering a pattern. Quite tricky, because you only have to get it very, very slightly wrong. Sometimes not necessarily even wrong. I mean, I got it wrong there. But sometimes you don't necessarily even have to get it that badly wrong. You just clip a corner by mistake when you actually sort of knew the route. So you have to take it fairly carefully. Now, I did this on the beta. I'm not sure if it's changed a little bit, because when I did it on the beta, what I thought to myself, oh, I know, I'll just take a screenshot and then I'll put that up in a little corner and then just follow that route, be a piece of cake, yeah? But it sort of ran out of time, so I didn't even try that then. Then, I eventually did it. As you can see here, I sort of got it. all I did in the end was just count. I just thought, right, number up, number left, and that sort of thing. Every now and then you'll get a pattern where it's, a bit too complicated just to remember that. So instead, it doesn't matter if you fail one, it's fine. You're not having to do 3 in a row. So you just keep going. Most of the patterns you will be able to just think, right, so many to the left and so many up and so like that, and that's sort of okay. But what someone said afterwards, well, why don't you just take a screenshot, thing like that? I think maybe that's what they did. So maybe they've taken the time part of it away, so maybe that is what you can do. I don't know. Have you tried it? See what you think. Perhaps a lot of people would have probably just given up, because the time these Kirin Tor ones have taken, even though you sort of get them done in the end, they do take longer than normal world quests. And of course, had it not been for the fact, as soon as I saw them without, because of, doing them in the beta, I probably wouldn't have bothered, even though I sort of quite like this one. Just because it takes so long and I need, basically what I'm doing each day is doing a world quest to get artifact power principally, as well as the cash, of course, for the chance of a legendary. And that being said, and I need to do it on 2 characters. So, but I'm not sure. Yeah, just the screenshot may well work. But otherwise, what I would do is just what I did and just try counting them. And if you get a really awkward one, it doesn't matter. Just go again. I mean, this whole thing didn't take me a stupendously long time. Really, it's not like I'm stuck there for half an hour or anything like that. It was quite nice. Better than the racing ones. And speaking of which, I ended up finishing off with the racing ones. We had 2 racing ones. This one I thought was a little bit more awkward, for me personally anyway. It's probably just me being a bit stupid. In the end, what I discovered is you could actually just go around in a circle if you wanted to. There is a sort of route. The problem is I'm sort of looking around. Okay, you don't expect them to be on a path all the way. They sort of start off like that. But and you have to sort of remember your map. It doesn't help when you run into a column like that. If you can keep it moving straight, it will move more quickly. 5 minutes, of course, is ample. I was a little bit embarrassed that I didn't actually do it on this one. I was 1 away as well. I was 1 away, and bearing in on it, I needed a few more seconds, and then hit the 5-minute mark. It's like, oh. But after that, I just sort of knew that on this particular one, of course, the next time it appears in Sunmark, it could appear somewhere else completely different. You can basically go around in almost a circle, more of a figure of 8, I would say, but pretty much a circle. And then second time round is a lot more simple, because I'm not looking around. See, at this point, I'm looking around for things. I'm thinking, where are they? Where are these things? I don't know. Because in Stormheim, you just sort of went forward a little bit, and you'd sort of see it. Here, I didn't. So, yeah, for me, it was a little bit more awkward. Everyone else probably did it really easily. Just me being a bit daft. But, yeah, as I say, did run out on the 5 minutes, as you can just see here. That was a little annoying, but then just got straight on and did it like fairly quickly after that. So if these come up again, I mean, the Kirin Tor ones are really good, and the reason they're really good is because they give you, when you turn in the quest, you get the usual thing. You get your artifact power and you get your cash, and there's no point in getting Kirin Tor rep because, of course, we're up to Exalted. I mean, this is actually a good point. I'm not sure, because they didn't seem to be working too well when I was doing it in beta. I'm sure there was a point in beta when these quests were working fine, but they were a bit sketchy when I was trying it. So I never actually turned in a Kirin Tor quest on a pre-made character. Now, I could sort of say to myself, because I got a choice of reps. I just got a token. I could choose which token I want. Obviously, I'd go for Nightfallen. Why would I go for the others? Want to get into those dungeons, Arcway and Court Stars, even though, yeah, they're not my favourite dungeons, but, the gear. And you only get 750 rep for it, as opposed to 1500 for any of the other factions. But I am exalted with Kirin Tor, and although I don't think they would do this, I'm not actually sure whether or not, if you're not exalted with Kirin Tor because you didn't play in Wrath on that character, maybe they give you Kirin Tor rep. I strongly doubt it, because Kirin Tor rep is worthless in Legion as far as I can tell. So I'm pretty sure you just get the choice there. So there we go. I mean, these are the ones to look out for. Obviously, every day I sort of do the emissary anyway. You don't have to do them every day, of course. The idea of these emissary ones is the last couple of days anyway. So if you're not on one day, you just do it the next. With the new one as well, you just do a couple of ones. But the Kirin Tor ones I sort of always look forward to. The Nightfall, of course, you look forward most of all, because you get 1500 rep for Nightfall and for doing that. But these ones, because you get that choice. Again, a nice 750 bump to rep as well. The other factions, I'm not too bothered at the moment. The reps will come. I've got Honoured in all of them. There's no desperate rush to get to Revered or Exalted with any of those for me personally. Of course, other people may have different ideas. So yeah, I mean, have you had a go at it? What are your comments? Have you found it easy? Did you find it straightforward? Did you do it a lot quicker than I did? I mean, for me, as I've said, the time these ones take, especially when you've got to do 2 and all the other world quests that give artifact power at least, makes it a bit, makes it considerable. It's taken me a full night just to do that and a couple of dungeons, or a few dungeons, but want that artifact power. But other than that, these are the ones I would look forward to, just because it gives you that choice of rep, and especially towards the end when you've got like Exalted with a few and you're struggling on Valajar or something like that. Again, just being able to choose, I think, would be really nice. And yeah, so I hope we get at least one of these a week, personally. But yeah, hope you found it interesting. Hope you found the actual Kirin Tor world quest interesting as well. If you didn't, oh dear. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more content. And until next time, I'll see you later.